He'll roll, he'll run. A sidestep. He's ready to throw. Nobody's open. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Stevenson. And May with an absolute jewel of an effort.
That was a great effort. Wow. That was Ramondre Stevenson?
Yep, Ramon, old fool's gold. Had it again.
What a wild play, man.
It was great, dude. And I didn't taunt Josh at all during the day. That was my only taunt was to that play right there because I was like, he had like a 1 yard run touchdown, like DeMarco Douglas or whatever fell at like the 3 or something on a catch, and I was like, it's Ramondre Stevenson time. I was like, go ahead and run him 3 times for 1 yard and a touchdown, dude.
What up, everybody? Back at it. Week 10.
Week 10, feeling good, man.
Here we go.
Got the old W from Josh. Thanks, buddy. Always love getting those from you.
We're gonna talk a little bit about the Cowboys.
My Cowboy.
Hate the Game League rankings. Wins and losses, pick'ems. Throw out a thunder cookie or two to some jabronis out there for
And
being
it will
bitches.
not be Chris. Oddly enough.
Might as well just give him one anyway,
Give him
right?
one anyway, dude.
Luke, any opening statements from you?
I got some statements I'm going to utilize later, I think, about you specifically.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds like you got something to say.
I do have some things to say. But opening statement from B would be like, I should have made the bet with Cromer about Chris beating him. My goodness. I called it and I didn't go. I mean, who could have known?
$200 is a pretty stiff bet.
I think, yeah, and I think wanting something and actually watching it come to a realization is two totally different things, right? But now that Chris has beat me and Cromer in a 3-week span, I bet you he's feeling pretty good. What do you think? You think Chris is feeling
he's
pretty
been
good?
your daddy and Cromer's daddy within a matter of 3 weeks.
And he has a record of 3-6.
Right.
So, like 2 wins. Who else did he beat this year? Who'd he beat? Probably like Josh or something like that,
I don't know.
We got to check and see. We got to check on Chris and see who he beat besides that. But, and Kenny with the 6/100ths of a point win.
What the hell, man?
Dude, I was watching that with him, and I was texting him back and forth while Mahomes was driving, and I was like, you better hope Kareem Hunt doesn't get like an 8-yard touchdown because you're screwed, man. And he goes, I didn't even think of that. He was like, no. And that, is what happened. But they didn't call a false start on Juwan Jennings. And that throw to Travis Kelce is what put him over the top. But
Dude, that guy is notorious for jumping just before the snap. He pops that leg
he does it all. And he's illegal formation like every time, too. His head is like,
at the line.
I've never seen somebody so far back get such a head start. I mean, he was doing it at the beginning of the year. He did it last year at the beginning of the year. It was crazy, but they missed a call again. I mean, it's debatable. It was pretty close, but, that was crazy. He was down by 10/100ths of a point and won by 6/100ths of a point. That's got to be,
that's got to be
the closest we've ever had.
Definitely us. That's got to be like some of the closest all time.
Yeah, I was like, here, incoming stat correction, Kenny. I was like, incoming stat correction. You lose, but that didn't happen, and he retained his W, and he's lucky, dude.
Man,
and
I was hoping they were going to flush his ass down to the bottom dwellers.
I mean, I was too, but when you're coming back in real time and you're seeing it, you're, like Eminem said, your palms are sweaty, dude. Like, you're so like.
Are you quoting Jameis Winston now?
No, right? What is I got some Jameis Winston quotes that are pretty
So, Chris Sharp, his other win was Spencer Barksdale. The Dong Dispensers.
The Dong Dispensers, yeah. Well, that's not a bad win either against Spencer. Spencer's probably like, this is garbage. I'm losing to like everybody, and I'm scoring 140 points a game.
So, if he plays Justin Fields that game, he wins.
Yeah. He plays me. I was like 3 points. Our matchup was like 3-point difference, and then Mike, man, what's up with his team?
I don't know. I thought he had drafted a good team.
I mean, every
But he's
week
sitting
his
at
projection's like 140,
Yeah,
and then he scores
yeah.
like 15 points.
135 to
Yeah,
140.
and then he scores like 90. You know, and you're like, I bet you he's like, what the hell,
Dude,
man?
I got him this week. Shit.
Yeah, you do.
He's due for a win, too, man.
Yeah, he is. That's what I said. You know what I mean? We'll talk about it later and get into more depth. But, yeah, and do you see his projection? Dude?
136 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, Josh's projection this week is crazy, too. It's like 139 or something like that. So,
That's nuts.
yeah, some good matchups.
140 from Josh.
Oh, yeah, by the way, thanks for playing Marvin Harrison. I appreciate that, Josh. You know.
Was that the deciding factor, or were you going to win?
By
Anyway?
definitely. I mean, if he'd have played Chase Brown, he'd have beat me.
Oh,
'Cause
wow.
Chase Brown made like 30 points. But I mean, I don't, you know, that's a tough decision to make. You know, Chase Brown or Marvin Harrison Jr., the guy you drafted. I think you drafted him in the third round. I'm not sure.
He
but
picked him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, for a third round pick, that's not bad at all, but he should have had a lot more upside. But, man, he just. It's
20
almost like
25th
Kyler Murray
overall.
doesn't like that dude.
25th overall. But he's had some good games.
Oh, he's had some. I mean, he had one that he had like 30.
So he's had 4 games with 16 or higher. 15 or higher. The other ones have been shit, though.
Trash, man.
1.5.
He had one where he had
5.5.
a goose egg, didn't he?
0 against Green Bay. Against Green Bay?
Yeah. Well, Jair Alexander, kind of good
Yeah.
lockdown
Shut
guy.
down. Yeah, shut down.
But I mean, this is kind of the issue that they were talking about him to begin with. They're like, all right, he's supposed to be a phenomenal receiver, but at the end of the day, you've got to face off against these phenomenal
Yeah.
cornerbacks, and some days it's not going to be. I mean, the crazy part was the Cardinals scored 29 points in that game. 29.
And Marvin Harrison didn't get jack.
Marvin Harrison didn't have a touchdown. James Conner didn't have a touchdown. Right?
Yeah, that sucked.
Okay, James Conner didn't have a touchdown.
They were bringing in that guy,
Trey Mc-
DeMarcado or something like that.
Yeah. And then Trey McBride had a rushing touchdown. And I mean, who scored all the points? Right? I mean, like DeMarcado scores one, and then will the defense score? Is that what happened? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the defense scored. But I'm like, I was looking at it and I was like,
Did DeMarcado score 2?
I don't know. He must have, because I was looking at the points because I was like trying to figure out where it all went, and I was looking at the game. You know, because when you punch on the game while it's active, you can see who the highest scorers are. And like, nobody had any points. I was just like, where are all these touchdowns coming from?
That's weird.
It was weird, man. It was like, it's kind of like, I felt like
I need Connor to get one of those.
it was like a Mike Evans situation. 1 reception, 1 yard, touchdown.
2 receptions, 2 yards,
yeah.
2 touchdowns.
But it went to like Mercado, so he had like 12 points on 1 run for 1 yard and a touchdown, you know, or something like that. So
Trey Benson must have gotten one.
Trey Benson,
Yeah, yeah.
he's Connor's backup.
Yeah. Let's see what he did.
So the backups are getting everything. And yeah, you'd have won if you'd have got 1 touchdown from James Conner, huh?
Yeah.
How's it feel that every backup got touchdowns
Right.
and James Conner didn't? That's what was happening to me with James Cook. Like, James Cook will be like, get him all the way down the field, and then at the 1 yard line, he's like, we'll bring in we got 1 play for Ty Johnson. 1 catch, 3 yards, touchdown. You know, I'm like, what is the world coming, dude?
Yeah, so
pretty incredible. So that cost you the game.
so Benson got 1, DeMarcado got 1, and then Trey McBride got at least 1.
Yeah, he got 1. That's all he got.
So
'cause
those- yeah.
Josh had him,
3 rushing touchdowns other than the starting running back. Give me a freaking break.
and it gave you a 1 point loss.
Yeah, I know,
You're like,
right?
can I get 1?
Point-
Can I just get 1?
0.88.
Yeah, I mean, James Conner is like, he is the most. I score 16 points a game every week.
Yeah.
That's it though. I'm not scoring any more or any less. Once I hit 16, it's
I'm
like I
done.
got to go sit
Yeah.
down on the bench because we can't have him scoring any more than that. you
Right.
know?
So he does have 3 games with 20 or over.
Yeah, just barely 20 though, right? Like he didn't have like 28 or nothing.
No, 22.5, 21.5, 20.
That's crazy, man.
So he's got 4 rushing touchdowns, and I think he's got no receiving touchdowns, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just a bad break right there.
Unlucky.
You know?
Collateral
Unlucky.
damage.
I mean, again, like that was the week I played Chris and he barely beat me. There was the same thing. James Cook wasn't getting the touchdowns. Some dude that we don't even know what his name is, basically, goes in there for one play, gets a catch and a touchdown. And if I was James Cook, I'd be like, dude, seriously? I mean, I know you like the guy, but I just got the ball all the way down. You're like, take him out. He looks a little tired.
Right.
Let's take his touchdown away and give it to this guy over here.
I promise you, he's got enough juice to get it over the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, especially on a play designed for the running back to just catch it and walk in. I mean, it's bizarre how they're handling everything. So, I mean, that's okay, but you're going to have unexpected things. So,
all right.
Anyways, let's move on
let's talk your Cowboys, man.
They're, as Dak so eloquently put forward in a TikTok video, we effing suck.
That was during the game on the sideline.
Yeah, no, I mean, and they do. I mean, it's not debatable. The Cowboys are terrible, okay? And they went and got, our big splash in the trade, Jonathan Mingo. I'm like, is Biden also helping out with the Dallas? Is he helping out with Dallas's decisions over there? Because they gave up a pick for Jonathan Mingo. Now, I know that organizations can ruin people or whatever, but the fact is they overpaid for this guy. They should have got him for less.
They should have got him for a Coke and a smile.
I mean, first of all, let's talk about the fact that the Ravens traded Deontay Johnson for absolutely nothing. Okay, to the Ravens,
yeah,
right? A team that
is already stacked.
Stacked. And they're like, hey, sure, you can just have Deontay Johnson. They're like, Cowboys, though, we don't like you. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to need what we gave for Deontay Johnson. I mean, you could have had Deontay Johnson instead of Mingo. Right? I mean, like, right? I mean, it was like the same thing. It was like they got a 7th for Mingo, or they gave a 7th for Mingo.
And a conditional.
And the Ravens gave a 7th for it got a 7th.
Yeah.
Or they got a 6th, like I was talking about, 5 slots in front of their other draft pick, which was even worse. You're like, for Deontay Johnson, I'm like, hello, can we go get Deontay Johnson for 5 essential spots?
Here, look, you take Deontay Johnson, and we'll take a Happy Meal from McDonald's.
Yeah, I'm like, when we're going, okay, so they're working with the Panthers anyways, because they got Jonathan Mingo warming the bench over there, and you're like, all right, we've seen enough Deontay. Can I see Jonathan Mingo again?
Hey, no, I don't want to see the good stuff. I want to see the okay stuff.
Yeah, they're like, they throw one pass to Deontay, like, we had enough of him.
Yeah,
we want Mingo. We want Mingo. This is our. I mean, they were like, we got something working, right? They were like, we got something. Y'all are gonna love it, and it's like, wah, wah, wah.
That's like that one time, like probably 15 years ago, when the Jets drafted a fullback with their first pick.
Yeah, and you're like,
the whole place erupted. It was like, no, why?
I mean, it's just
who fucking does that?
Yeah, just Cowboys don't turn into the Jets. Okay.
So one comment about CD, man. Dak was throwing to him, and it was clearly going to be a pick. And I felt like CD could have got in the cornerback's ass and probably broken up the interception, and he didn't. He just gave up.
Yeah.
Now that shit kind of pisses me off.
I mean, it kind of pisses me off too, but I think it's just
like he gave up.
Yeah, no, and I get that, but I mean, did you watch DJ Moore give up on Caleb Williams this week? The play was still going. I put it in the chat, and DJ Moore just he comes back for to try and help Caleb Williams, and he's open, and he could have thrown it there to him, and he just doesn't. And instead of DJ Moore trying to get open again, he just walks off the sideline and goes sit down. Kevin Williams is still scrambling.
Wow.
Trying to throw the ball downfield. He looks back over at him, and he's like, I guess I don't have a receiver on this side of the ball anymore.
Wow.
And DJ Moore just literally walks over to the bench and just sits down. I was like, he looked like, when I watched it, I was like, oh, is he hurt or something? Does he look like he's hurt? No, he wasn't hurt. He just came.
He just
back. He was just like, I need a break, like Anthony Richardson. He was like, he tapped himself on the helmet.
Yeah,
and was like,
I'm taking myself out.
Yeah, Caleb goes back to look at him, and he's just not there anymore. Like he's sitting on the bench.
Teleported out of there.
Yeah. For a guy that just got a $120 million contract, do you think that'd be like,
that's inappropriate?
That's so inappropriate that it's just like, I do whatever I want kind of thing.
So I've been thinking about this quite a bit over the last, season or so, when these players have started getting these monster salaries, and then they don't produce. They hold out. during off season, and then they get their contract and they come out and they drop balls, they get hurt, they pull hammies. So like they're getting to a point, Dallas especially, because they paid Dak again and CD.
Yeah.
Like if your guys don't produce, I want some of my money back.
I mean, unfortunately, that's not in the contract.
Yeah,
right?
but what I'm saying is they should start putting some clauses in there. If you quit, if you give up, if you fake an injury.
The thing is they do. They make incentives for these contracts, and you have to hit the incentives in order to get a lot of your money most of the time. Now,
the guaranteed money thing is going crazy, though. So that means they don't have to do shit. They're going to get paid regardless, and I think they should stop doing that shit personally.
Well, and like CeeDee Lamb, like you were like, he gave up on it or whatever. And I agree with that. I think that he should be working harder to make sure to take care of Dak, I guess. But the thing is that the Cowboys, I don't think it's a Dak's a bad quarterback. I just think that the Dallas O-line is bad. He doesn't have anybody on his backside anymore to help him. I think it's like when you get to a point where you think you're going to get sacked every play, it is in the back of your mind a little bit. If you have a bad there has never been a quarterback, I don't care how good he is, that's going to be good if your O-line's not decent and you can't hold them back. I think that's a statistic. Like, if you have a bad O-line, you're pretty much screwed. Like,
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be, you're not, and Dak, he's not running the ball anymore, and things like that. So it seems like, he doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers out there running around, but he doesn't look like a young guy. Well, he wants to sit back in the pocket. He wants to pick you apart.
Your defense isn't doing any favors either, though. You know what I mean?
Our entire defense is hurt. Every good player we have on defense is hurt. So I get that. So let's just talk about that. Can't stay on the field on offense because our offense won't do anything. Defense comes back on. People get depressed, essentially, because you're just off. And I know why CD's getting pissed because he's the whole offense. They literally have no other weapon. They're like, we ran it for 1 yard. We're averaging like 2 yards a carry. Like, not even kidding.
Give it to Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, like
that's your guy, man.
2 yards.
Yeah.
That's
2 yards a clip. That's nasty, man.
Yeah, and then you're like, all right, let's try and throw it to CeeDee Lamb, and you look over at CeeDee, and he's got 14 guys standing by him. At this point, they're not even covering the other guys hardly. They're just so. Yes, Dallas has issues right now. Can they be fixed? Would the year be different if we didn't get injuries? Yes. But everybody gets injuries. You got to deal with them.
Well, next year's going to be tough because you don't have a lot of cap space. So we'll move on from that. All right. So HTG, Hate the Game League standings as of right now. Tommy Boy, 7-2.
Yep. Only one game.
Luke right behind me, right on the heels with the Fool's Gold team.
Yep.
Get bent.
Which I know Josh appreciates that,
Get bent. Oh, and then we got Tyler, 6-3 as well. This guy came from the dregs, man.
He has dealt with injury all year, and he's just scathing by.
Yeah, and he's still 6-3. That's impressive.
Puka's punching people, getting knocked out of games.
He's 100 points, almost 100 points behind you.
Yeah.
And he's over 100 points behind me, yet somehow 6-3. Let's talk about schedule there.
Yeah, obviously he's been pretty lucky because he doesn't, it's just like kind of like looking at your team. Your team's the only team that hasn't had 1,000 points scored against them.
Yep, that's true.
So that's very telling to me. That tells me that we're looking at a skid for old Tommy Boy here.
Could be. So I do have the second highest point total if I'm looking at this correctly.
No, you do.
Yeah.
You
might
have the highest.
Points. No, I think Josh has got me by like 80, 70.
Oh yeah, Josh does. And Josh has had a lot of points scored on him, so that's how you know his team is good. And then let's see, mine. I've had a lot of points scored against me. You're still hanging in there. I'm still hanging in there at 6-3. I wish I would have got that win from Chris. That would have helped me out a lot. I'd be tied with old Tommy Boy right now. I'd just tell him to get out of my seat.
Get bent, Luke.
Yeah, I know. I called him this morning and I was like, "Hey, what's up, Tom?" And he's like, "Hey, what's up, dude? What's going on? This is Tom. I'm Tom Flowers, I'm number one." And I was like, "Coming for your fucking seat, bro." I was like, "That's my seat you're sitting in. I want my championship back, dude." I want to throw that belt in my closet for a year. You know, like give it back to me.
It was more like, hey, Tom, what's up? Oh, hey, Luke, how's it going? Get out of my seat, Tom. I'm coming for number one. Don't you even think about being number one any longer.
Yeah, I was like, one game back, you were sitting pretty there for a little while, weren't you? You were like, I'm like 3 games up. I'm killing everybody. I got Jordan Mason running my team, and Mason we trust, you know. And I was like, can you trust him now? No. I think
I'm not dropping him though.
Maybe we can get Tom beat so bad this week that we give him a name change. You know?
Ooh, that's a tall order.
Yeah, I mean that would be. You know, that would be sweet, dude. I think I'm just my personal opinion, obviously, but
so Kenny has separated himself from the toilet bowl,
from the turd herders.
Yeah, he's got a 2-game lead on Mike, Spencer, Chris, and a 3-game lead on Cody. So,
and poor Mike can't get out of the dregs, man.
No kidding, man. Keep his ass down there.
He's getting smashed, and he's like, I'm bringing in the projections at 140, and he's like, but I'm scoring 93 points.
So this is pretty interesting. Cromer is currently 5-4, and he's sitting in 5th place. Kenny's 5-4, and he's also tied for 5th.
Yeah.
But Cromer has more points.
By like 20.
Yeah. And Kenny's actually projected to be a playoff percentage of 46% compared to Cromer's 41%. That's kind of interesting.
I think it is, and we've kind of seen Cromer's cheese slide off the cracker a little bit here.
Good.
Right?
Flush
three in a row. Just
flush,
imagine if Cody would have played his guy, he'd be 4-4. He'd be looking at turd herders down there, one away from the turd herders, and he can't be. I mean, losing 3 times in a row is
tough.
Demoralizing, man. It obviously crushes you. It's tough, man, when you're losing like that. And I mean, obviously any win is good, but 3 losses in a row, he is reeling. He is reeling hard. He went from like 2nd, now he's like 5th.
Let's see who that fool plays this week.
Cody plays you.
Cody plays Cromer.
Oh, he plays Cromer.
Yep.
And
I'm playing Mike.
Oh, you're playing Mike, so you got a tough game this week. If Mike's team does what it's supposed to do at all, that's a tough matchup. I mean, I got Kenny. Mine's not. He gets McCaffrey back this week. We'll see what he looks like if he's, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that could be good. It could be bad, you know.
He's got him in his lineup.
Yeah, I mean, snap count wise, I would think it would be. I don't think you can just straight up unleash him, but you never know what San Francisco.
Well, he's been out for weeks and weeks and weeks, so he's probably ready to rock and roll.
He probably is. And what does that look like for the San Francisco 49ers? I mean, you know they want to put a lot on Christian McCaffrey, so does that make anybody worse or better for San Fran? How do you think San Fran's offense is going to operate now that McCaffrey? If McCaffrey's back,
got to open up.
You think it's going to open up?
Yep.
I think it's just going to be a lot of work for McCaffrey, personally.
Well, they crowd the box, try to stop McCaffrey, and force him to throw it. That means Kittle's going to be all over the radar.
I think it's the exact opposite. I think Kittle is ready to take a seat and chill for a little bit, and I think that McCaffrey's coming in, going to get those short passes. Going to be the guy. I know Tom doesn't want to hear that.
No,
he's like,
you don't want to hear that.
He's like, go away, dude, go away.
You're toast.
Oh, I don't mind. I mean, Kenny's team is, you know, decent, but you know, I feel like my team's been doing pretty good here lately. 140 points a game. I'm feeling fine with that. Now, I really wish Dak wouldn't have got injured and CeeDee Lamb wouldn't have got injured, but that's just what you got to deal with. I mean, he hasn't been going crazy all year. I mean, what are expectations for CeeDee Lamb the rest of the year? I hope he gets 15 to 20 points a game and gets hyper targeted. That's about all I know he's not going to get a lot of touchdowns, but that's all I can hope for. But I can hope that Tom falls apart just like Cromer. I get my seat back and everything's right in the world. You know?
Even if you win this week and lose this week, you got to outscore me to get that number 1 spot.
I don't think that's a problem based on your last week. You know, last week's performance. Old Conklin in there
Tactical
for 0.7.
error, man. Tactical error.
Yeah, Zay Flowers going off on Denver. You were like, not on Denver. I don't know if I can play this guy or not.
Right.
He just torches him.
I'm watching the game and I'm like, oh my God, I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah.
And then it was getting close. I was like, oh, Pittman only needs a few.
Pittman, dude. Oh, that game.
I was like, is he even playing?
Yeah, I was like,
he's a ghost out there.
I was like, I know Tom is pissed about Pittman right now. I mean, in Minnesota, they should have got more passes going.
So the 3 games that Flacco started earlier in the season, Pittman was averaging like 15.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You
But
know,
I kind of think Josh Downs is taking over as his favorite receiver, though. I think
Could be.
I think that's kind of what's going on. But you got to think still that Pittman's going to play better. But how do you play him after he scores 2 for you?
No,
I mean,
I ain't playing
he's
his
like
ass.
he's not consistent.
Zay's the guy.
Yeah, you're like Zay's the guy. I don't care
I'll
what.
put him in this time, he'll score 6.
He's gonna score like 4 points, dude. Deontay Johnson's gonna go off for like 150. No, I mean the problem with Zay is just that it could be the Derrick Henry show and the Lamar Jackson show
That's
like
true.
every week.
That's why I didn't. Yeah.
It's tough, but I mean, against Denver, I mean, look, I played Denver's defense against Baltimore because I was like, I don't want to lose Denver's defense. I'd have to drop somebody I don't want to, so I was like, I'm just going to take a
Just
chance
gonna
this
roll
week.
with it. Yeah.
And that almost cost me, dude. That was, I mean, minus 2 points. And I was like, Denver is a good defense,
Well,
but
the Ravens
apparently
rolled
they
their
suck.
ass up,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Apparently that's all they can do is defense because Lamar was just like, the first half of that game, he had like 20 points, and I was sitting over here. I was in the airport watching the game, and that was like the only one that I could watch because it was.
Were
on
you like,
Lamar.
yeah?
No, I mean I was like, this is the worst game of my life. I was like, Denver is going down, and Lamar is just
Destroying them, yeah.
just raking in points. Josh Allen's over there like 2 points, you know, in the first half. Keon Coleman was supposed to get a touchdown. Of course, he doesn't because Keon Coleman butterfingers it. I mean, it's right on the goal line, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Did it hit him in the numbers of the hands?
It hit, yeah, it's like it hit him in the hands and the number, I believe. I mean, it was just like how, and then bobbles it. He's like Garrett Wilson's the thing, throws it up in the air, and gets an interception, which immediately takes, instead of gaining like 4 points, I lose 2 points, and then they get a fumble or something like that, and I was like, and so Josh Allen's like second quarter, he's got like 2 points. You know, and then luckily
He came back.
well, yeah, but luckily he did a little out route to Ray Davis. I was hoping it was going to be James Cook, and Ray Davis takes it 78 yards for a touchdown. And I was like, he's on my bench, but that should be James Cook. You know, like that's what I want is the stack of those two guys,
Right.
not that garbage. You know, so
Well, Josh Allen finished up with 22, and Cook
Yeah.
got 12, so not a bad outing.
no, not bad, but it could have been better.
Yeah.
So
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll do some Thunder cookies and some pick'ems, and we'll take it from there. All right, Luke, back at it. Let's get into these pick'ems, man. Let's figure out what's going to happen here. Who you want to start with?
well, let's start with Spencer and Josh.
God, Spencer's team, man. 3-6. He's projected
Nice.
121. Josh projected 140. What are your thoughts here on these two?
I mean, I think Josh is coming back on the revenge tour this week after getting beat by Ramondre Stevenson. in Fool's Gold. That's where I'm at right now. And I love that. I mean, before we get into their matchup real quick, I just want to say that I love the fact that Ramondre Stevenson beat Josh.
Was the
after
deciding factor?
Yeah, well, it was one of them for sure. But he came in and was like, Josh was talking shit about him. Fool's gold this, fool's gold that. Ramondre comes in, drops 22 on him.
Right.
10 for 16, 10 carries, 16 yards. That equals 22 points, right? I mean,
10 carries, 16 yards?
Yeah.
No, not exactly.
so Spence and Josh, I think Josh is coming back on the revenge tour this week. I mean, his projection is pretty lofty.
Dude, it was kind of a risk playing Ramondre Stevenson for you.
I mean, no, it wasn't. He was the only one I had to play. I mean, like, I'm not playing Tank Bigsby with Travis Etienne back there. So, I mean, it's pretty much going to be Ramondre
So you didn't have
Stevenson.
you didn't have any other option. Okay.
I mean, that's the way it was supposed to be the whole year. I was like, I'm either win or lose by Ramondre Stevenson, basically. And I knew that he was not going to be a good back because Patriots are trash. But that's what I'm doing, man. You know,
So it looks like Achane is really coming along. Last game, 27 points. This game, 32. This week, who freaking knows?
yeah. Well, I mean, when Tua's there, that dude is gold. And I would also like to say that it has been affecting Tyreek Hill tremendously. Like Tyreek Hill is like a wide receiver 2 now. I mean,
And 3.
He's got to be pissed about that.
Nice pick, Patrick.
Yeah, and yeah, he was like, Tua's coming back. My boy's gonna be on fire. And it's like 12 points. I think Josh Downs scored as many points as Tyreek Hill did. But
So what do you think about the Dong Dispensers QB, C.J. Stroud?
I'm like trying to figure out why he still plays him. Like the guy he's trash.
Not great. He's not great.
If he plays anywhere besides you, well, not to mention Stephon Diggs gone. Nico Collins barely he's
able to
coming
walk,
back
yeah.
now, but he was gone. Tank Dell was the only receiver left.
So Houston's going up against Detroit this week.
Yeah,
Jeez.
which that's a throwing that you have to throw on Detroit. You don't run on them very well, but Joe Mixon is pretty much just been matchup proof. So I think it's going to be closer game than it looks.
Well, you got D. Hopkins and Kareem Hunt both on KC.
Yeah,
the chances of them both blowing up are not great, especially with
not playing against Denver.
Yeah, and plus KC doesn't score a lot of points.
Yeah, they don't, and they really play hard on their defense. I mean, I really think, and everybody might have a different opinion about this, but I really think that Travis Kelce is the guy who's going to score points off of this. I mean, you saw him last week. Everybody paid a little more attention to D-Hop. He just scored 28 points, though. Didn't really matter. I think you're going to see a lot. I mean, I don't care if Kelsey's getting touchdowns or not. He's getting 10, 14 targets a game. I'm like, looks like even
Kelsey's
those
going to
little
get
shovel
his.
passes.
They might have started out slow, but they're starting to pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, Denver's a good defense, so it's going to be rough sledding for DeAndre Hopkins this week, I think.
So, from a Detroit standpoint, Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery, who's going to outscore each other there?
I mean, I like Gibbs better. He just catches passes. And, I mean, last week, if David Montgomery catches some passes too. But
he vultures some touchdowns, though.
But he usually comes in at the end kind of and stamps the game done when they need to start power running. If David Montgomery gets a touchdown, you're looking at a really good game from him. But Gibbs has just been better.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just
Dude's
faster, explosive. So give me Gibbs right there, especially against Houston. They got a decent defensive line, and which means you're gonna have to throw it down to Gibbs a little bit. I mean, I like that. I think Drake London with the hit pointer could be kind of a tough thing. We'll see if he's able to play. They said it's a pain tolerance thing. I think he'll be good to go, but man, if he doesn't, Darnell Mooney.
Does he look like a bit?
Yeah.
Ooh, Darnell Mooney. Yeah.
Darnell Mooney could blow up if he doesn't play.
So Josh is projected 140. Spencer is projected 122. I got to be perfectly honest. Looking at Josh's lineup, I'm going Josh on this one.
Yeah, me too. I'm going Josh, especially he lost last week, so he's going to be looking to get back in the win column. So
next game up, me and Mikey.
Oh, my favorite matchup of the week because I'm coming for that seat.
So you're hoping Mike gets some shit done?
Oh,
huh?
I think Mike's going to drop you with a big L. He's due for a win. What do you feel like?
I think he's due for a win as well.
That's tough because do you think he's going to win or do you think you're going to win?
No, I think I'm going to win.
You're still on your side?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Mike because
go Mike.
Because that's my seat.
That's the wrong decision.
Because that is my
It's
seat.
the wrong decision, but yeah, you go with what you want. Dude, Barkley had an awesome game. Kyron kind of came up short. Zay had an awesome game. Got McLaurin in there, Kittle, Connor. I feel pretty strong with my lineup.
I feel like, isn't this the first week that Kyron Williams didn't score a touchdown?
I think you're right.
Yeah, so
10 was low for him.
yeah, so you think that he's going to get a touchdown.
Well, he's
and,
playing Miami.
Yeah,
So
they should. The Miami's run defense is not very good, so you should get some run off of him for sure. And then James Conner single-handedly cost you the game last week, right? Or Conklin, whichever one. Choose your pick your poison on that.
Connor, yeah, whoever you want.
And then Zay Flowers dropping 30 from the baseline,
dog.
dude. He's sitting over there on the bench.
Error.
He's sitting over there on the bench with his hands up, going,
What are you doing?
You have no faith in me. And Tom says, no, I do not.
Yeah.
I would rather have 113.
Tactical error
Yeah.
instead of 130.
Yeah.
or
Well, he was
140.
going, and I feel like probably your thinking was reasonable when you were like, well, Michael Pittman could have he's going to have a good floor. Zay Flowers, like his top is like 15. You're like, his top is 15 unless he scores a touchdown. all of a sudden he drops 2 touchdowns. You're like this is some trash, man. Like, isn't it funny how
It's funny how
when
it
you have
works,
2
man.
guys that like you're like can score or they can't score, and you're looking at matchups and stuff, and you put the guy in with a better matchup clearly,
and it
then
just falls short.
yeah. I mean, that always makes me feel like this is not what's supposed to happen. This is garbage.
So against Tampa, pretty soft pass coverage.
Super soft.
One catch, 4 points. Against Cleveland, he had a pretty good game, 18.5 points, 7 catches. And then he's playing Denver, which is one of the number 1 pass defenses.
and run defense.
And run defenses. So I'm like, they might shut it down. Obviously the wrong choice.
Oh, they got creamed, man. Like, it was, like I said, I was watching this game in the airport, and it was just,
Brutal.
oh man, it was the worst. I mean, I played Denver's defense because I was like, oh, they'll probably be all right. You know, we might get like 4 or 5 points. I mean, I knew they weren't going to be like safe, you know, but I didn't want to get rid of Denver's defense because they're the best defense in the league right now.
Right.
But man, did they
got
get
torched.
throttled.
They
dude.
got torched.
And Zay Flowers ate, man. Ate.
He ate and
all
left
the
no
lunch,
crumbs.
dude. Yeah, exactly. And Tom got that big L, which we love to see. Which I'm pretty sure everybody in this league has
Yeah,
loved seeing
yeah.
Tom get a loss. He's been on a heater. He's been on a heater. It's time
think
for
it
him
was
to come
five-
back down.
5 games
to
in a
earth,
row,
you
yeah.
know? I think it's time for him to come back down to earth, get a couple losses,
Hopefully, I don't string 2 together. That's
give
what
the
I'm-
seat back to who is deserving of it,
Oh, my
and me, obviously. And we can move on with our lives, you know, and everything will be right in the world.
I'm still, even after that soliloquy from you, I'm still going Tom. So
Okay, well, I'm going Mike because obviously I want you to lose, but that's, I mean, I still think
That's just
Mike's
a
got
matter
good
of your
chance.
opinion,
That's just
man.
like your opinion, man. Okay,
all right, next up we got Luke and Skinny Kenny.
and it's me, man. Obviously, I'm going with me. But
132 is your projection.
yeah, and
And
Kenny's up there. He's looking good.
126. Yeah.
I think it all kind of depends on McCaffrey. If McCaffrey going to play good, is he? You know, what is he? What is he?
Swift, Dobbins, and McCaffrey starting for Kenny. That's
Yep.
pretty good starting 3 running backs there.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing well. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind because he's definitely got some decent matchups. I mean, Purdy with Tampa Bay. You know, like I said, the thing that's crazy about that is we'll see what their offense looks like now that McCaffrey's back. If he is back, if he's, you know, are they going to have him on a snap count? What are they going to do with him? Are they just going to unleash him?
Yeah, they're going to unleash the beast.
That's what you're hoping for, at least.
Well, Purdy's scheduled for 19, and McCaffrey's scheduled for 19. So based on that, they're not looking to restrict him any.
That's the only thing that I would be worried about if I was him at all would be the fact that, you know,
Snap
is
count.
Purdy going to
Yeah.
have 20 points and is McCaffrey going to have 20 points? He'd have to be throwing to McCaffrey, getting touchdowns essentially, I think, for them both to have a lot. I just don't know what they're going to do because you can run and you can throw in Tampa Bay.
I don't know which one I want worse. Kenny to win and beat your ass, or you to beat Kenny just to keep Kenny down there in the
Just
dregs?
to keep Kenny down there in the dregs. I mean, you don't know which one's worse. I mean, you want Kenny to beat me, though, right? I mean, is that what we're doing here, or are we?
I'm picking Kenny to win.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want him to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that means his ass moves up to 6-4. You move to 6-4.
Yeah,
And then some other assholes are going to move up to 6-4. It's just starting to get crowded up there at the top.
it is. It is getting crowded, and I think that's because the people at the bottom
Just suck
just
balls.
suck balls, man. That's basically what's going on right
Suck
now.
balls.
There's just not much I mean, there's a lot of parity up top because everybody in the bottom is just getting throttled, you know. But that's okay. It'll start working itself out here pretty soon. People are going to start taking losses, and we'll figure out where it is. I mean, look at Patrick. 3 games in a row, Patrick has lost. He's got to be pissed. I would be pissed. He was like, I was getting calls from him daily, you know.
Couple, yeah, me too.
Yeah, and now
I think Mike was too.
and now it's like straight to voicemail, you know? Like, so he did call me back yesterday, but I was busy when he called, so I couldn't talk to him. But, you know, that's interesting how things can go like that. Like last year for me, I was like 6-1 or 5-1. And I was like looking at, all right, I just got to get a few more wins, you know? And then all of a sudden I'm in last place, man. It was I went from all the way to the top, right where I was supposed to be, to all the way to the
you were
bottom,
supposed to be there. Yeah.
where I wasn't supposed to be. And obviously, the fantasy gods were like, "We got this all wrong. We can't have Luke at the very bottom. That's not how this works. We're gonna go ahead and drop over 100-point win on Spencer." And just, get him out of there. We're going to get him out of here. We're going to go ahead and save him, get him out of here.
I don't think anybody's ever been beat by 100 in this league.
No.
100.
It was 120. Dude, I beat him by 120 points. It was, I just remember his GIF that he put in. He put in the GIF and it was like a guy just disappearing.
Yeah.
Like Back to the Future picture, like when his family was disappearing. I mean, it was really good. And I know that was like, he was like, he was like, boom, he puts it in, and he just like slams his hat down and puts his, like
somebody bring me some bourbon.
In true Spencer form, And then, he did a great job being a butler, so I thought it was the right man for the job, personally, because I didn't want it to be me. So, but anyways, hopefully I get that W, and I can get further or closer to my goal that we all know I should be at the top.
Oh, my God. All right, so next up, moving on. Tired of hearing your lip. Cromer versus Cody.
Yeah, I think Cromer's going to get a W this week. I think he's had enough losing for a little while. That's just what I think. I think he's coming back.
So here's the thing. Cody hasn't fixed his lineup yet. Big surprise.
Yeah.
But if he puts in Higgins and Brian Robinson Jr., then his point total projection, mind you, goes up to 128, and Cromer's is 124. Cromer also has Debo with a potential injury and A.J. Brown with a potential injury.
Yeah, I think A.J. Brown's a little more serious with his knee. I think they said he's day-to-day, but I definitely probably see him maybe not playing one game because they just got him back. You always see this. Just got him back from a hammy. He was probably trying to chill on his hammy and hurt his knee, or something like that. So
I think Cody takes out Kmet and puts in Ertz. Yeah, and I think he takes this win from Cromer.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you there. I just was like, is he going to have a 4-game skid? Is Cromer going 4 games? He also doesn't have Ken Bone Walker in, right? Because he's on bye. So I'm going to go with Cody too. I think I'm going to flip it because it just doesn't look like the right week for Cromer there. He does have some decent matchups though, so you never know. I mean, his matchups are juicy, man. Dallas, Tampa Bay, the Rams, the Giants, Cincinnati. I mean, all these teams you can score points on. Jacksonville. I mean, however.
Yeah, but it's Carolina against the Giants. I don't see Chuba just going off, do you?
Against the Giants?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's an 8:30 game. It's in London. So,
well, Chuba's been eating lunch, man.
He's been eating just fine. I think it's going to depend on how well Bryce Young plays.
His floor has actually been 9. And then his ceiling was 31.
Yeah.
And he's been floating around 15.
Every game.
Yeah, 15 to 20.
And I think that's what's going to happen again. I think he's going to do the same thing. The real question with that is that Jonathan Brooks comes back this week. Will he take any snaps? And he will. He'll take some. So you can, unless Chuba gets a couple touchdowns or a touchdown, you can pretty much guarantee that he's going to be less than he would be. Because if Jonathan Brooks does good, they could be in this. I mean, because what's the point? What are we doing now? I mean, I feel like they should have brought him back faster, so they maybe could have traded Chuba for somebody if Jonathan Brooks does good, before the trade deadline or something. Just evacuate it all, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Cromer's team right now is a little bit reeling because Tua's throwing.
He's running on hope.
Yeah, he is, man.
He's running on hope
because Miami's using Achane, they're using Achane a lot, and they are not using Tyreek Hill as much as they should. That's got to be pissing off Cromer. A.J. Brown getting hurt. Debo Samuel's constantly questionable. I think that was a good trade by you to go with McLaurin. He called me and was like, I got Debo, and I was like, who'd you trade? And he's like, McLaurin, and I was like, seems pretty fair.
Yeah.
I was like, it seems like a fair trade. And he was like, man, Debo's going to kill it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Debo's old, man. It was like he's kind of injured, and so I mean, I just kind of think it's fair, especially since, but it's kind of going it's kind of going
It's in my
lopsided.
favor. Yeah, it's in my favor.
Definitely
now.
in your favor.
So
I almost wish you'd have kept Debo because then your team would be even worse, you know. And
I definitely wouldn't have 7 wins. That's for damn sure. So one thing to think about here, I did the trade analysis through the app, and it was like as even a trade as you can probably get. It was like a
Watson,
ranking
IBM, could
87.
make-
Yeah, Watson. Yeah, it was 87 to 88, and it was like the projections were within like 8 points of each other over the year, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it was about as fair as you can get from a trade standpoint, at least at
I
that
mean,
time.
it on the surface it's fair, but I think you made the right decision, obviously, by doing that. Now since we're talking about trades, Kenny gets 2 points out of Pitts last week, gets 0 out of Najee because he's on bye. I get 22 from Travis.
Looking pretty good
Kelce.
for you this week, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's a on weekly thing, but this will be the week that I need it to work out the most because he's got Kyle Pitts, obviously. I got Travis Kelce. If I went out on that, then that'd make me look even better. But you know, the other thing is that because we'll see who Kenny plays. I think he's got the right running backs in, but he can't use Najee Harris. He's got too many running backs now. McCaffrey's back.
well,
so-
that's a good problem to have, though.
I mean, it's a great problem to have, but that just means that one of the guys he traded for is not going to be used.
All right, let's
Right.
go to Sharp and Tyler.
Sharp and Tyler.
Dude, Tyler's team's looking strong. I'm not even gonna lie.
Tyler's team is looking good. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean they're pretty. I mean his back end, his wide receiver 2, and his running back, or his
His flex running back, yeah.
they're okay. I mean he's definitely beatable, but it looks pretty good for sure. I mean, just as good as anybody else's team, I guess, at this point in time. You know, like he's got some great running backs, and Jalen Hurts is really starting to fire it up. My question is, when Jalen Hurts doesn't have AJ Brown, they are a lot worse. They run the football a lot more. They
Yeah, that's good for me.
No, you're right. I mean that's great for you.
But they're
I'm
going up
just saying
against
that-
Dallas. I
Yeah.
think everybody's gonna eat lunch on them.
I mean, no, they're just going to run the football on Dallas. I mean, that's what you do on Dallas. You run the football. But, for instance, when AJ's out of the game, I mean, you got to go back. When did he get his hamstring? Like, probably, let me look back, and I'll tell you the scores when he didn't have AJ Brown there, which like I said, is a tough deal because AJ Brown was out. Let's see, he was out 2, 3, 4 weeks, 2, 3, and 4, and then he had a bye, obviously. So 2, 3, and 4. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, man. 2, 3, and 4. This is what Jalen Hurts' points was. 2 was 23, which is fine. 3, 10 points. 4, 16 points. Then he went on his bye. AJ Brown comes back. He goes back to 21, 22, 35, 30. So,
Damn.
so you're looking at, without AJ Brown, you're looking a lot worse,
Yeah.
you know, as far as scoring for him. And I think that's just because they don't have as many weapons. And he loves to throw it to that dude. Just throw it up in the air,
Yeah.
and AJ
Yeah,
will come
50-50
down with
ball,
it.
yeah.
So, you know,
Well, dude, looking at Sharp's team and looking at Tyler's team, I'm going with Tyler this week.
yeah, I'm going with Tyler too. Chris has been on a little bit of a heater. He beat me. He beat Cromer. Those are pretty good wins for him. But Tyler's team is starting to look. His schedule looks pretty good this week.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I'm going to take Tyler as well. But let's talk about Cade Otton, dude. Like what in the world? I mean, like this.
Where'd he
guy,
come from?
Well, I mean, he's like, I'm sitting on the bench, or I'm catching one catch a game. I'm catching one catch a game. Chris Godwin goes out. Mike Evans goes out. He's like, I'm a freaking superstar.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like, and he's catching everything. He's doing a great job watching him play. I mean, we need to get an answer from Chris as why the hell he picked him up off the waiver wire.
It's just one of those things that Chris does.
Yeah,
he
well-
gets lucky off of the waiver.
He picked him up prior to Mike Evans getting hurt and prior to
I think
Chris
he
Godwin getting
I think he
hurt.
just needed a tight end. He got
Yeah.
rid of Likely and Andrews and
The fiasco of like 3 tight ends on one team. He had 3 tight ends on his bench, he had 1 in the game and 2 on his bench at one time, and Josh was like, "This has got to be the worst fantasy football team I've ever seen."
so the last 3 weeks for K-Dot, I mean, this is nuts. 10 targets average,
Yeah.
a touchdown a game average, and probably 85 yards average. Before that, it was nasty, man.
It was terrible. You know what I mean? Like it's and when Mike Evans comes back, I still think that he'll be relevant in the offense. I just don't know if he'll be what he is. I mean, he's obviously not going to be what he is now.
So he had 19 catches total in 6 games.
Yeah, I
And
mean
then he had 25 catches in the last 3 games.
yeah he's
He's a superstar, man.
yeah. I mean he's looking for some money or something because Baker's throwing to him a lot. I mean, let's be honest. Baker Mayfield
Baker's
looks
balling,
amazing, dude.
He is balling.
Like the Browns, he's just making the Browns look worse and worse every game that dude plays, and I don't blame him at all. He is killing it, man. He's the second highest fantasy scoring quarterback this year right now.
Yeah, he's number 2.
Woo! And he doesn't have his weapons, and he's still scoring.
Dude,
So-
let's pass out some Thunder cookies here, especially for these jabronis. Now I know that I gotta pick on Cody for one, not setting his lineup game 1. Not gonna let you live that down.
Oh man, this dude is harping on that, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean Cromer would be down there right at the flush zone if you would have just set your lineup that first week. Idiot. But we're going with the Thunder cookie for you. You keep playing Cole Kmet.
yeah, Mr. Goose Egg.
Yeah, you would have played Zach Ertz last week. You'd have won. You'd have
Yep.
won. I know it's hard to do, man.
I mean, I know you like Romeo Dobbs, but take him out of the effing lineup, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
he's on a 5 this week.
yeah, I'm like, you got to take him out this week at least, you know. So, I mean, come on, man.
Come
Work with us
on,
here,
man. Thunder cookie for your ass. Cody, do better, man. You've been in this league for 10 years, man. Come
Yeah.
on. Come on.
Has Cody ever been in the playoffs?
Hell no. Toilet bowl every year. Now this next one goes out to Josh
Oh yeah.
for no name change. What the hell, man?
Where is our name change,
Yeah,
bro?
dude. Roast Mike. Give him the shittiest, dumb, most derogatory name change you can come up with.
Yeah, do something, man.
Yeah, it's
Please.
ridiculous. It's part of the league. You
I'm
beat
gonna-
somebody by 50?
Yeah, then change their name. You know what I mean? Like, do something. But that's why you lost last week. Karma, fool's gold got you. Ramondre Stevenson comes in, scores a touchdown
Oh my God, here we
on
go
the
again.
pass. It's so good. I mean, this is what happens when you don't name change people when
Yeah,
you're supposed to.
yeah.
You get dropped.
So when we called Josh last week, it was funny. He was like, "You guys want to change somebody's name? Beat somebody by 50 points."
Yeah, use that trash talk right there. Use that and make something up with the name change. You know, like that'd be that. I mean, you know, the fantasy gods don't like it when you do that kind of
Right,
stuff. So
right.
you got to do it. Do it.
Yeah, it's your duty.
Yeah,
It's your
Thunder Cookie, bitch.
responsibility. Thunder Cookie to Josh and Cody. You guys can suck it.
Yeah. Should we give one to Chris? I mean, we can. I guess he won, right?
Yeah, I'd just give one to Chris just to
Just
give
to
him
give one, just to hand one out.
All right, guys. Luke, anything else? Closing arguments, closing statements?
Oh yeah, I got one closing statement.
Here we go.
Get used to standing up because that seat's about to be mine. Coming from first place.
Coming from you. Hey, man. Enjoy, guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the playoffs.
Good luck, guys.